Hi guys, thanks for joining me again for another video. I'm here with Mark once again from One Stop Visa, located here on Soi 6 in Pattaya. Mark, nice to see you again.
And you again, Peter, pleasure.
Right, there has been some changes in certain things, not so much visas, but I was talking to Mark the other day and we decided to put another video together because in particular there's been some changes to the banking, hasn't there? You used to do a lot of banking for people.
The bank accounts, yeah. Unfortunately now the bank will not open a bank account for somebody under 50 years of age without them purchasing the bank insurance, which is 5,900 baht. Previous to this, I didn't have to buy the insurance, but unfortunately now we have to buy the insurance.
If somebody still wanted a bank account, if there's a guy who's under 50 and thinks, well, I don't care, I've got to have a bank account, and he's willing to pay that 5,900, can he still open a bank?
Yeah,
I mean, can you still open him?
We can still open it for him then, yeah.
Right, so the only major change really is
the cost of the insurance added to the bank account.
Right, okay.
And the other thing is that the bank have changed now. You need 30 days left on your stamp. So if you came in on 60 days, you'll require 30 days to open the bank account now, which was another rule only brought in the day before yesterday.
Right. Is there any particular reason why they've brought these rules out, why they've changed it? Because they don't normally change rules without a reason. Something must have happened.
It happened very, very quickly over a period of 2 days.
Right.
And I believe a lot of it's to do with fraud.
Ah, okay.
Fraud problems with the younger generation are into.
Yeah.
I'm not saying.
No, but just off the record, I mean, the younger guys who come out here, because obviously they're on limited budgets. I read a story the other day. I watched it on YouTube about a guy who was snatching gold change. A young guy.
Yeah.
Is there much of that goes on down here?
It happens down here at night time.
Yeah. Is that because people come out here on a limited budget and they want to stay here and they don't have the funds to?
They don't have the funds to do it. They know gold's.
Yeah. It's about 45.
It's high. It's high at the moment, so it's very good.
Yeah. So we've come to the end of the year. It's been a good year, I guess, for yourself. We're in December 25, going into January. 24, going into January 25 next year. So you've had a good year with the visas, the driving licenses.
Nice steady year, Peter. But I've noticed that this high season is slightly down on last season.
Why do you think that is? Because I've been out last night and it's absolutely packed everywhere. I mean, I see a lot of people.
Yeah, we're busy. Most mornings I've got 8 or 10 people in before 10 o'clock, so we're busy. But it's just not the volume that we normally get.
Right.
Like last year. But last year, high season kicked in a little bit later.
Right.
It seemed to kick in January, February, and went on to March. I don't know whether it's reflective of the prices of the flights now, or whether it's just people sick of paying ridiculous prices now.
Well, there's a cost of living squeeze going on in Europe at the moment, as you know, the States as well. So that there's a lot less money flying around. But I mean, there's still obviously a lot of people coming out here. What's your biggest part of the business here at One Stop Visa these days? Is it the kind of long-term visas?
Yeah, retirement visas. I do literally hundreds of them. Opening bank accounts, another big one, and driving licenses is another big one. We do a lot of driving licenses.
So just for people, because I've done 2 or 3 videos with Mark over the year and last year now, but just for people who haven't seen our videos before, just why don't you run over what's required to get a retirement visa nowadays? Because it keeps changing year on year, with the amounts of money and...
If you read a Thai government website, it tells you everything you need to know, except they make it very, very difficult and unnecessary.
Sure.
Should I say? Yeah. So to get a Thai retirement visa, non-retirement visa, which is 15 months long, you're going to require a passport with enough space in the passport, be over 50 years of age, and have a driving license to help you open the bank account. We simply open the bank account for you. We assist you with the funding, so get some interest.
Read between the lines on that one.
Get some interest in your own country. And then we take you to immigration and do the retirement visa for you. Paperwork's all done in advance. So the whole process on the day takes about 2 hours maximum. 21 to 28 days later, your passport will come back fully completed with your retirement visa in it for 15 months. And then at the 15-month point, you'll need to renew it, which takes 3 days for it to come back. So it's a quick process the second time. Right. You need a 12-month, another rule they brought in, you need a 12-month rent contract to do a retirement visa. Once again, that's something you don't necessarily have to have. We can assist in that area as well. With the bank account, like I say, you just need your driver's license or a second form of official ID and your passport to open the driving license, open the bank account.
And it's very, very important for people who want to go back and forth. Some people, they don't think about the multi-entry, you know, because if you don't have a multi-entry, from my understanding, if you go out of the country, even if you've just got a 15-month retirement visa and you go out without a multi-entry, when you come back in, you're on a tourist visa again. Is that true?
Again, yeah. When I speak to people, it's the biggest emphasis on the retirement visa that I give them. Re-entry permits. A lot of people think it just comes with the visa. It's not. It's added to the visa. So you get a single entry re-entry permit, which will allow you to go out once, come back in once. If you had a multiple entry permit, it will let you come in and out the country as freely as you wish for the full 15 months. If you exit through Bangkok airport and you go through passport control without a re-entry permit, you lose the visa and you have to start again.
Because that has happened to guys, I know.
I get one a month come in here minimum.
Crying.
Minimum come in here a month and say, I was never told that.
Yeah.
Now I'm not going to blame it on any group of agents, but there are a particular nation of agents that do not emphasise this.
Sure.
This is the biggest reason of people losing their visas at the airport is because they didn't do a re-entry permit.
Yeah.
And they say to me, I wasn't told. So when I do one, if somebody refuses a re-entry permit, I'll make them sign a document to say they refused and were offered the re-entry permit. Because a lot of guys come in and say, oh, I wasn't told that by the other agent. Whether he was or not, I'm unsure. But at the end of the day, I cover myself by doing that.
Sure. And one of the other things you do is you do the 90 days, don't you? If you don't know, guys, if you're on a retirement visa, you have to report to immigration every 90 days. Now, when I say you have to report, you don't have to go along there and queue up and like some people do. I met a guy in Bangkok. I said, where have you been? He said, I've just got back from Pattaya. And I'm like, oh, what were you doing in Pattaya? And he said, oh, I had to renew my 90 days. He lives in Bangkok, but he had the visa done here. Yeah. And he used to take the bus from Bangkok to Pattaya. And I told him, I said, you can do it online. It's so easy, isn't it?
Do it online now. If sometimes it does refuse online, but you've got to give it 2 days to come back either denied or accepted. But you can do it online. It's fairly simple.
Yeah.
But it is a little bit unreliable, I'm going to say that. So if I've got guys that live very close to Pattaya, I either pick the passport up, I'll say to them, drop it in manually, and we do them manually and they're back the same day. So sometimes it can be easier for us to just do that because we go into immigration all the time.
To be fair, I mean, I'm now on my third visa, long-term visa, and I've always done the 30 days myself just because I just do it myself. I've never had an issue, I've done it online. I've got the immigration have sent me a responder saying, thank you, it's under review. And within 24 hours, 48 hours maximum, I've always got approved and it's a good system. But if a guy doesn't want to have to remember and write it down and remember, you do that for them, don't you? You have your girls have a system that pops it up and
we do all of them for you, every 90-day report.
Right.
And you can be up to 7 days late with a 90-day report without a fine. I don't advise it, but if you do forget it, you can be up to 7 days late.
It's about 2,000 baht, isn't it?
It can be anything from 2,000 to 5,000 baht, depending how late you are.
How late you are, yeah.
And if I get a late one, let's say 15 days or something, my immigration officer probably charged me 500 baht.
Yeah.
They're fairly lenient with me.
I just can't understand some people who I know a guy in Bangkok, he's a young guy to be fair, he's probably about 30, he's young compared to us. But we was just talking to me, he says, I haven't done my 30-day report and I forgot, it's been a year now, I need to go and see them. And I'm like, what, a year? I mean, what sort of money would he get charged for a year overstay?
That could be
not overstay, but...
It could be anything from 5,000 to 15,000 baht.
And this guy's on a very limited budget, so
It's just put it in your diary. Remember, you got to do it.
So, just out of interest, I mean, I talk to a lot of guys in Bangkok, and I know from my experience, a lot of guys are moving out here now from Europe, Australia, and America because they're just fed up what's going on in their own countries. Yeah. So, just out of interest, I mean, I've met a lot of guys who are coming out here from Europe and Australia and America, and you can't blame them. A lot of people said they're just sick of what's going on in their own countries. Just out of interest for the video, is there any particular country that stands out as having more people come out here than any other?
The same complaint comes from particularly the UK, America, Canada, Australia and New Zealand.
Right.
I get guys in every day and the story is exactly the same. The cost of living, everything they got to pay to taxes and governments and they're getting their retirement packages in, money in Australia, they've got to go back for certain periods of time and they're sick of it and they just won't go back. And I had one guy went back to do it, he had to go back for 6 months, he couldn't find somewhere to live in Australia that was affordable.
Right.
Let alone find anywhere to live.
Sure. definitely.
The cost of living is so much lower here.
Yeah. And would you say, like, if a guy's thinking about, if he needs a long-term visa and he's in his own country now, is it better for him to contact you and start the ball rolling from his own country, or wait till he gets here, say on vacation? And
if you start a retirement long-term visa in your own country, it's called an OA.
Right, that's the one with the insurance, isn't it?
That's with compulsory insurance, mandatory insurance in your own country every year,
right,
which basically covers you for very, very little when you're here.
Yeah.
You will still be then asked at immigration on the day you do it to pay an extra 4,000 baht for an insurance policy here.
Wow.
And then you still have to take some good health insurance.
So that's if you apply from the UK through the embassy?
Yeah, if you apply from the UK, the Australian embassy, whatever.
Right.
If that's an OA visa, very complicated.
Right.
Health conditions. If you're an American, they can ask you for an FBI report and everything.
Wow.
Whereas you come here with a passport and a driving license, we do the non-OA. You've got no mandatory insurance. That's not to say that I don't advise you to get insurance. I advise you to get some form of health cover that suits yourself.
Right.
But you're not mandatorily paying it every year.
So if somebody comes in to see you and they want full-time health not full-time health insurance, if somebody comes in to see you and they want to have a retirement visa, is there any length of time they have to have left on their passport or any other conditions?
You have to have a minimum, I say 16 months, 17 months on the passport, because we give them 15 months on the first visa.
Yeah.
So if you only had 12 months left on the passport, you would only get 12 months.
Right.
Therefore, you're cutting yourself short. And it does happen. Other guys said, I just haven't had time to renew it. Don't worry about it. They lose a month.
Right. They don't mind.
You really give yourself 18 months on the passport, and at least 2 to 3 pages.
Right. I know you don't like to talk about costs in a public forum like this, but I mean, obviously, if somebody comes along and they ask you how much is a visa, how much is to get everything done, you'll tell them. But you don't like to publicise it here because obviously there's other visas companies here in Pattaya, and it's business, right? You want to keep your cards close to your chest. But the reason I'm asking that is I know the first visa, because you have to open the bank account and it's a lot more complicated than the second and third and fourth. What kind of percentage is the drop on the second? So for instance, if I said, if I pulled a figure out of my hat, and this isn't what you charge, but just say I said it's 30,000 for the year, how much would the second year be, like percentage-wise?
Under half of that.
Under half.
Yeah.
So once a guy comes out here, he pays the first one, which is quite high, he gets his bank account, gets his 15 months, and then every year after that he's going to drop by at least 50%.
Well, a lot less than 50%.
A lot less than 50%, okay.
Yeah.
Any particular reason for that? Or?
It's just that the paperwork's already been done. It's gone to Bangkok, it's been vetted.
Right.
They know everything about the guy, so literally it doesn't leave Chonburi immigration this time. It goes, we just take it down there, get a picture taken, do the small amount of paperwork that's involved compared to the first time, and then we pick it up 3 days later.
So they do all the checks on the first
It's already been done, yeah. That's why it takes so long the first time.
Okay, so looking back over 2024 now, we're in December, we're coming up to Christmas, so I've now dated this video. What have been the major changes throughout the year as far as you're concerned as a visa agent?
The major changes is the banking and the driving licenses. They've changed a lot of rules regarding that. And the volume of different nations that's coming into the country. Particularly now I get a lot of Chinese and a lot of Indians come in.
Does that cause any problems for you? Or?
With Indians, Chinese and Russians, there's a lot more involved in getting them a bank account and a retirement visa.
Right. And do you deal with Indians, Chinese and Russians, or is it mainly...
We deal with them as well. We do every nationality. Japanese are very easy to do. Tom speaks fluent Japanese, which is helpful.
Wow.
We can do them, but again, immigration want to charge us more money, so we have to pass that cost on.
Sure. And do people complain about it, especially...
I'm honest with them, I just say victimisation.
Yeah.
I think they've found the victimisation already once they're here in Pattaya.
And do you get that scenario where people come in and say, oh, that's so expensive, I found somebody down the road who can do it for half that price?
Yeah, I get it all the time, and I say to them,
okay,
good luck.
Go down and...
good luck and go down the road. And then I've had them say that, and then 3 hours later, next day, come back in and say,
they were closed.
They weren't going to do this, and they weren't going to do my 90-day reports, and they weren't going to update my TM30 when I went out of the country. Whereas I do it for the same price as everybody else, I give the 90-day reports free. I re-register your TM30 when you go out of the country and come back in again free, provided you give me the correct paperwork.
Right.
Which I always ask for. I say to you, when you've moved in somewhere you're happy, you've got the TM30 first time, bring the paperwork into me, we'll put it on file, because your realtor won't want to do it again, and nor will your landlord.
Right, sure.
Just come back into me when you come back in, and we'll do it online for you. We don't charge.
And you can sort out the addresses as well, right? Because you have to have an address registered with the immigration. Obviously, you can sort all that out as well.
We can take care of that.
Yeah. So you have to kind of read between the lines. You know, you need to come and speak to Mark if you're not sure. You can get a visa through Mark. You've kind of got the basics here, but you need to come and speak to Mark. And there is a link in every video I put out, every live stream. There is a link below to Mark's Facebook page. Mark and Pom, actually, Pom's Mark's partner. Very, very, very helpful. And Mark's very, very approachable. So let's talk a little bit about the driving licenses, because a lot of people come out here and they're very cavalier and think they can just jump on a motorbike and nothing will happen. And as you know, outside the police station, there are lots of guys getting 500 baht fines at the moment.
Yesterday at the Dolphin, I saw 2 trucks loaded with bikes.
Really?
Loaded with
Do they actually take the bikes off them then?
They can take the bike off.
What was that? Is that for, but I would imagine that's for guys who have been drinking, isn't it? Or
No, to be honest with you, with the drink driving, if you pay them enough, it'll drive away. A lot of it is the bikes are not government insured or taxed.
Okay.
And no helmets for foreigners. I've noticed in Pattaya now, even the Thais are starting to wear hats.
Yeah.
At the DLT, the Department of Land Transport, we're seeing more and more Thais going and getting licenses,
right?
Because they are getting stopped now.
It's definitely getting stricter here, because I remember coming down here, getting a bike, and it's like, hey, it's Pattaya, you don't need a helmet, and it's wind through your hair and everything. But every single day, there's a bunch of cops outside the police station on the main beach road, and they're looking for people without helmets on. And what I do is I bought my own helmet down here, because the helmets they give you when you rent bikes,
you wouldn't want to put them on your head.
No, I mean, I've got such a big head, it's like an egg on top, literally. And I paid about 300 baht for a brand new helmet, which fits really nice. But I was going along the beach road yesterday, and there were 3 cops, and one of them kind of looking at me because I'm on a bike, and he looked so kind of deflated because I was wearing a helmet.
They do victimise Westerners.
Yeah. Well, they know the 500 baht's no problem, straight in.
Yeah.
But so as far as licenses goes, it's still easy enough for people to get.
There's a slight difference to driving licenses. Before, we used to do them on a Thursday and a Friday morning.
Right.
Now we have to do them on a Thursday and Friday afternoon.
Oh, any reason?
This is because of Thais. More Thai people are getting them done.
Oh, okay.
So it suits. If we take too many foreigners in the mornings, the Thais start to moan that foreigners are getting better treatment, getting done first. It takes the same amount of time in the afternoon.
Sure.
There's less Thais there.
Yeah.
And you fly through it.
So I've got some personal experience with this, because when I came into, I got my first license, which was the first one on a retirement visa, lasts for 2 years, which I did through Mark, which was very, very easy. But the second one, we went to Rayong. Was it a Thursday, right? So what happens is Mark arranges a minibus there's normally about 5 or 6 guys here, and I came along 8:30. We go over to Rayong. We had to do the little tests and everything.
4 little tests.
We were back here by 1 p.m. and I had 5 years on a license, so it's very, very easy to do. Mark and Pom arrange everything. It's just a case of having to turn up here at 8:30 in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever had anybody fail their test over there?
Never.
No?
Never.
No, I never failed mine either.
No, they're too helpful to us over there.
Right. Okay, so look, just to end this 2024 video, as it were, is there anything you'd like to add? Anything that people need to know? Any changes?
Just when you do the driving license now, you must have 20 days left on your stamp on the day you go.
Is that which stamp?
On your entry stamp or whichever visa stamp you're on. You must have 20 days left on the day you go.
Right.
Or more, obviously.
And something else some people might not realise, you do have to be qualified in your own country to get that particular licence, right? So if you haven't got a motorbike licence in your country, like I've got a motorbike licence in the UK for just ride any size bike, you come over here on your first year with an international licence, and that just can get kind of swapped over.
Yeah. We can exchange most countries' foreign licence, provided it's in English. If you bring an international license from your country, we can convert that for whichever categories of car or motorbike you have. If, for instance, you want a motorbike license, we've got 2 or 3 ways in which you can obtain the motorbike license. Mm-hmm. There's long-winded and painful, 2 days at school. There's less painful, 1 day at school, or there's a VIP where you don't go to school. And that's all I can say.
You read between the lines. VIP, you don't have to go to school.
And we guarantee you get the license.
Yeah, and that's in a day, is it?
Well, it's 4 days for the documents to come back. And then we take you on the Thursday or Friday to the DLT. where they take your picture and issue your government license.
Right. Okay, so just to finish off, to reiterate, the only changes really at the moment is the bank account. If you're under 50, you need to get insurance, which costs $5,900. And if you're not,
directly from the bank,
you need to pay that. And if you don't want to pay it, you're not going to get a bank account if you're under 50. Why have they hit on the age of 50, for instance, not 60 or 40?
At 50, I think it's just because it's a retirement visa age.
Right.
If you come here and you're not even doing a retirement visa and you're 50, you can open a bank account.
Right.
I don't really know why they picked that figure out of the air, but
I know you won't know this, but just as we're here on video, there's been a lot of talk about them raising the amount that foreigners need to have in the bank to get the retirement visa. It's been 800,000 for many years, or an income of 65,000 baht a month coming in. And there's been a lot of talk. Well, they might raise that to $1 million, $2 million. Have you heard anything, or is it just?
I've heard that talk for 5 years.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't think it will ever happen.
Comes around and
the thing with a 65,000 baht Thai income into your bank account, certain countries, including the UK, America, Canada, Australia, you cannot get a retirement visa now first time on the 65,000 income.
Right.
You need to pay 65,000 12 consecutive times into your bank account to use it to renew the license.
Right.
Because the governments in America and Canada are not giving out the paperwork to say that you've got an income.
Right.
And the income must come direct from the income provider. So the pension provider must pay it directly into your Thai bank account.
Okay.
Now, for instance, in the UK, if you did that, you're going to lose all the yearly increment increases. So it's not a good way of doing it.
No.
The best way to do it is the way we do it, where we help you assist.
So basically, come here, come and see you, say I want a retirement visa, and then one-on-one you can tell them everything.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
Exactly how the process goes.
Right. Okay.
You know?
Right. Okay, guys, that's about it. Once again, thanks for watching. Look, if you're interested in a retirement visa or a driving license or even a bank account, even with the new rules, Mark is located in one of the most notorious streets in Pattaya. If you haven't been here and you walk down the street in the evening, you'll know why. I've had to come here at 8 o'clock in the morning to make the video because, again, I once tried to make a video here at 4:30 in the afternoon and we forgot about what's going on outside. We didn't forget, but noisy is an understatement. But it's Soi 6 in Pattaya, right at the end. You come in from the second road and it's virtually down towards the bottom on the left here. Signage everywhere, you can't miss it. Mark will be here, Pom will be here, and Mark can sort out your visa, your driving license and everything. So look, Mark, if I don't see you before Christmas, I'll be down here for New Year for the fireworks, but I don't think I'll see you for Christmas.
You'll see me, not in this wheelchair.
Have a good one. And
same to you.
And I hope you recover quite soon because
I'm getting there now.
Mark had a fall and it's been a long going process, but I think
we're hopefully in January we'll be walking again probably.
Right. Okay. Look, Mark, thanks again for having the time to come and see me. Let me come and see you.
My pleasure.
I'm sure it won't be the last of many videos we'll probably do over the next few years. Guys, thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, please drop them in the comments. I do reply to all comments, or you can send me an email. My email address is also down there somewhere in the comments. Okay. Thanks for watching, and me and Mark will catch up with you another time, and I'll catch up with you very, very soon. Thanks a lot, guys.
Best wishes to you all.
Cheers.